Hello and welcome. Jai Mohanji. Today we are here for a book reading of Guru Leela. Now, I will just take a moment to show you the Guru Leela book. Um, I will be reading it today from my Kindle reader. So, what is Guru Leela? Guru Leela is a book which is called as a Mohanji Satcharita. It is a collection of honest testimonials of Mohanji's followers across the world. There are many volumes of Guru Leela 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as Mohanji continues to bless us all, many more volumes will keep coming on. All these books are available on Amazon as well uh, for um, for purchasing for personal use. But today I'm going to use Guru Leela 3, which is volume 3. As the title says, it's the grace of Mohanji that heals. I will stop sharing my screen right now and read from this book. Just give me a moment. Guru Leela, grace that heals. We dedicate this book, Guru Leela, to Mohanji with immense gratitude and love. May these true and life transforming testimonials of healing with divine grace bring peace and happiness to all those who read this book. There's a content page. From the editor's pen, with the blessings and the grace of our beloved Mohanji, we are very happy to be publishing the third book in the Guru Leela series, Guru Leela Volume 3, Grace That Heals. Every experience shared in this book is a every experience shared in this book is a loving offering from the hearts of those who have been healed in various ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually by Mohanji's powerful and divine energy. Some of these extraordinary events and miraculous experiences will leave the readers filled with awe. Our deepest gratitude to Mohanji for his eternal love and protection, present not only for his devotees, but also for their families and the lineage. Grace That Heals is a collection of stories where people from different walks of life have experienced healing through various aspects of Mohanji. Healing can happen in his physical presence or energy field, or by connecting to him through prayer, chanting, or remembrance. Other ways of connecting with Mohanji's energy are through the Maitri method and the Mohanji transformation method. These are profound methods of deep cleansing, balancing, harmonizing, and rejuvenation which greatly enhance the natural self healing abilities of the recipient. Through these methods, the initiated practitioners connect with the consciousness of Mohanji. Hundreds of devotees from all over the world seek the presence and blessings of Mohanji. When we connect to him with honesty and sincerity, he takes care of everyone, directly or indirectly, taking away our troubles and sufferings, guiding us on our individual journeys and bringing about positive inner transformations. Mohanji works tirelessly to help all the beings of the world. He is the most compassionate companion and the truest friend who would never let go of our hands. Mohanji was recently described as follows in a European publication: Mohanji is not a mystic, he is a friend whom you can trust. This trust is what we feel the most when in his physical presence. His gentle smile, kind eyes, and the warm hug wrap us in an aura of love and protection, enabling us to share our deepest troubles with him. With a casual hug, he heals us on all levels and removes blockages of lifetimes. In an unassuming way, this trusted friend works on every aspect of our being, cleansing us, giving us what we need, and walks with us on our chosen path. The grace of healing happens when we connect with Mohanji sincerely from our heart, and he takes care of the rest. As often he says, keep walking, I'm walking with you. Devi Amma, a living saint of the tradition, very clearly shared. He is Vishwamitra, a friend of the universe. Under this physical connection as a friend is a master whom we can only catch a glimpse of through the various experiences and transformations that happen within us. This too is visible only if we have the eyes to see and have the awareness from within. He works effortlessly and quietly, unseen and unheard. He is a Dayasagar, an ocean of mercy and compassion. His love has no boundaries of space and time. Everyone benefits, and anyone can take shelter under his umbrella of grace and protection. Our heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed towards creating this book. It is a beautiful offering of love to our eternal guide, protector, and friend Mohanji. This gratitude is the reason behind the birth of this Guru Leela series. It is a humble attempt to present a collection of beautiful experiences of devotees from around the world through which we get a glimpse of this beautiful incarnation known as Mohanji. May this set of true stories be handed over to future generations, also to know about this divine being who walked on this earth. As Mohanji says, writing and sharing of our transformative experiences is very important. He says, when you experience grace in life, write your memoirs. When you're in despair and cannot feel the grace factor, you can read that. Your own experiences are your greatest assets. Your own life is your most reliable guide, Mohanji. We hope all readers feel the power of Mohanji's divine Leela and his grace while reading these stories. After reading this book, please send your feedback to testimonials at mohanji.org. Our heartfelt gratitude to the authors and contributors of each article in this book. They have transformed this book into a beautiful expression of grace that heals. We extend our sincere gratitude to Anganak, Angana Korswak, Inuit Kaliat, Great Shaman, Greenland, for writing a letter with love to Mohanji. Our heartfelt thanks to Anna Divak for her honest sharing about Mohanji in the forward Superhero. We are grateful to Dr. Harpreet Vasir for his inspiring and honest sharing in his foreword, I Treat, He Heals. Our deepest appreciation to the book presentation team, Mohana Hanumantananda for the cover page design, Venkatraman KV for the book layout design, and Sarathi Raghavan for printing and consultation. Above all, thank you, Mohanji, for being our invisible guide throughout this journey, without whom this would not have been a reality. With love, Rekha Murali, Shama Jayasilan, and Subhashri Thotungal. Jai Brahmarishi Mohanji. There's a letter from Greenland by Anganagak Anga Korsuak. My apologies if I did not say the name right. With love from Greenland, he says, Anganaka Angankorsuaka is a shaman, a traditional healer, storyteller, and a carrier of Kilaut wind drum. His family belongs to the traditional healers from Kalait Nunat, Greenland. His engagement for the environment and indigenous issues brought him to more than 70 countries in the world. Mohanji and the author of this forward share a beautiful and a loving friendship based on their love for Mother Earth and all her beings. Having worked together during the Peace Pledge in 2018 and 2019, their friendship continues to grow with a common focus to help the world. The letter below is a loving message from Anganagaka Angakor Suaka to Mohanji, his close friend. He writes, My dear friend and younger brother Mohanji, I know that people are writing a book of experiences about you, and I wanted to contribute something to that as you and I have traveled together and met each other over the years. You were young when I first met you. I don't know if you remember that, but we traveled to my land in Greenland, and then you saw what is happening to the world in which we live. The spiritual significance of climate change is something nobody really wants to talk about, mostly because they don't believe in it, or most likely, they don't understand the significance of it. Your land, this amazing country called India, is such an important place on earth. Why? because there are so many people who live there. Your land would also be one of the first countries in the world which will have a severe impact due to climate change, most importantly, with regards to water. In my language, water is called imek, which literally means life giving source of all. Now we have learned through science that water is a life giving source of all, not just because our body contains a lot of water, but then we live in a world where we do not understand what is happening to our earth and the impact we have on this earth. We have talked about it, and you saw for yourself what was happening in Greenland. The spiritual significance of climate change is something which is so essential for the well being of all of us on earth, which means the humans, animals, plants, and minerals. None of these four components can live without water, and all of them need clean water, and we have failed in that. The spiritual leaders of the world, of which you are a part of, are really important for the well being of mankind. We have gone, we have now gone beyond religion. It's no longer a religious issue. And in fact, it has never been a religious issue. But it's always been a spiritual issue. Because no matter what we believe in, and there are many kinds of beliefs in spirit, it's always the same. Wherever I go, I may not have traveled as much as you have, but I've worked in 72 different countries on this earth. And I have visited thousands of cities in the world to talk about the melting of the big ice and the severity of the impact she will carry, which will affect the spiritual well being of mankind. My prayer is that in your work, being young and vibrant, you will focus on that spiritual significance, because without that, we will get lost. What does it mean to get lost? We will begin to talk about religion rather than spiritual well being. And as you know, when we talk about religion, we always end up arguing. But when we talk about the spiritual significance, beautiful smiles are born from every heart because then we can look at each other as equals. That's the work you do, and that's the one thing which is most important. Whatever book is being published about you, the way I see you is that you bring the spirit alive in every person. I look forward to the day when we can sit down again and have our coffee together, and this time go further deep within us to understand that there's no difference amongst us, no matter where we come from, no matter what conditions we come from, and no matter what aspirations we have. All we want is people to understand the beauty and the significance of water on earth. Love you so much. Anganagaka Angakarswak. Into it collide great shaman from the top of the world, Greenland. Superhero. Anna Divak writes, Anna Divak is the founder member of Anna and Lathe Foundation, the number one philanthropist foundation of Serbia. Wife of the former national basketball champion, Lade Divak, Anna is also a popular media celebrity and actress. Her contribution to the society through many projects that she and her husband support is inspiring to many. Since she met Mohanji, she has experienced personal transformations that have helped even more in her service towards society. Anna has gladly expressed her feelings for Mohanji in this write up below. A superhero is a person, she says, who does heroic deeds and has the ability to do them in a way a normal person couldn't. So, in order to be a superhero, you need a power that is more exceptional than any power a normal human being could possess. And you need to use that power to accomplish good deeds. Otherwise, a policeman or a fireman could be considered a superhero. For instance, a good guy fighting a bad guy could be just a regular police story, or a detective story, or a human interest story. But if it's a good guy with a superpower who is fighting a bad guy, it becomes a superhero story. If the good guy is doing something that a normal human being couldn't do, couldn't accomplish, then I assume he becomes a superhero. Stanley. So we are already so we already have all these superheroes. In Eastern culture, they are mostly worshipped, and in the Western culture, We are more practical. We are in contact with them through comic books, games, and films. But one thing is common. In the East and the West, the North and the South, we need superheroes to make sense of the reality we live in, which unfortunately is mostly non understanding, separation from each other and ourselves, injustice, cruelty, and war. These superheroes give us hope that we can reach a state of unity and understanding, acceptance of others and ourselves, the ability to discover the power inside of us and to love. For me, Mohanji has all the characteristics of a superhero. He has superpowers, but is as a human as I am. I try to understand how he does it all. How does he manage to be with hundreds of people at the same time without being physically present? And how does he hear me when I need help? There were times I thought I understand, and then the next day, nothing would make sense again. I gave up trying to understand, and doing so became less important to me. I just know that I could feel him, that he is always there for me, both when I love him the most and when I'm angry with him for not working the way I want him to, for not fulfilling my desires in the form and the timeline that I envisioned, when I doubt if all this makes sense, and when I wonder, what is the point? I always know he's there for me, much more than I am there for myself when I don't think I can do it anymore, when I'm scared and when it gets too hard. Although I have to admit that I also feel his presence when I'm having a great time and when I'm well with myself and everyone, that I don't need anything. I have helped many people in my life. I can even say that when I have been in a position to answer the requests, I have helped everyone who has ever asked me for help. Many times, I have been hurt by the people I helped. I didn't want their gratitude. I wanted them to be good, and that brought me joy. But I couldn't understand how they could undo and forget my loving care and effort. This is the trait that I have most condemned in people. Since this life brings us insights about ourselves, that we are all that which we least love and condemn in others, thanks to Mohanji, I have seen it in myself. It's easier for me when I tell myself, well, that's just your mind. But I think it would be okay for me to finally come to an agreement with my mind to stop doing this and to show me the true data, which is what Mohanji did for me. For example, I would think of just one fact. After 15 years of torturing and wandering from doctors to various types of healers, I would be healed thanks to him. Or that maybe my daughter was left with us, was left with just 4 scars on her leg instead of losing her leg altogether after a car accident. Or for the first time, none of the five of us, since we've existed as a family, had a fight during Christmas holidays. Anyone who is close to us knows this is a pure miracle and that there is definitely an influence of some superpowers. And the list of what Mohanji has done for me, my family, and my friends is ever growing. I kept telling myself that I will start writing because the moment we are transformed and the transformation becomes a part of our reality, we forget that we were ever different. And of course, we focus on what we still don't have. Somehow, I think my life would get uncomfortably small if I didn't have Mohanji in it. I know he says that he is in me and in all of us, and I understand the meaning of it. But I'm glad to be able to see him, smell him, and hug him. I'm glad to also have the physical proof that a superhero really exists. His superpower is an unconditional love that transforms everyone around him or connected to him. And to be honest, until I felt the power of unconditional love, I might have chosen Superman or Punisher or Batman first. But now I know that unconditional love is the greatest superpower, and through it, all miracles happen. Mohanji doesn't give up on us, even when we are at our worst, when we make the same mistakes over and over again, and when we do not trust ourselves. He leads us to start seeing ourselves and others through his eyes, the eyes of love. For there to be drama and for the superhero to forego losing his job, villains must exist as well. And they have superpowers too. Most are found within our minds. Usually, they are in the form of expectations, unacceptable condemnation, and ungratefulness. One of their greatest superpower is doubt that superheroes exist and that we, with our regular human traits, don't have a chance against them. And through that doubt, they separate us. But whoever has had the chance to feel Mohanji's superpower, unconditional love, and whoever has ever seen a superhero film can know for a fact that in the end, after all the drama and the fights, the superhero always wins. She's given a link of a video interview by Anna with Mohanji. Dr. Harpreet Vasir writes, I treat, he heals. Dr. Vasir is a cardiac surgeon in one of the prestigious hospitals in New Delhi, India. After connecting to Mohanji for more than 5 years, he expresses his transformation that has brought a positive impact on his treatment of patients. Inspired by Mohanji's teachings of compassion, kindness, and selfless service, Dr. Vasir has been involved in many selfless activities with Care, Healers Beyond Boundaries, and the latest project in Arunachala, Mohanji Home for Seniors, by providing them with regular medical services. I'm so honored to have an opportunity to write a foreword for this book, Guru Leela Volume 3, Grace That Heals. Blessed is the book which shares all aspects of healing through Guru's grace. Even though I am a doctor by profession, I truly believe that irrespective of the profession, everyone is a healer in a true sense. However, when a guru walks into our lives, turning point happens as we then receive a GPS, a guru protection system. Through Guru's Leelas, and understanding of the Guru's grace comes in. With Guru's grace, we lose our blockages and trapped impressions. What increases are our awareness and acceptance. This is what I understood when my Guru Mohanji walked into my life. I learned that Mohanji has come into my life not to tell me how to grow, but to teach me what more I can give back to the society. This is the only way we can reduce our karmic baggage and cut short on our rebirths and sufferings. Mohanji taught me to experience the liberation while living an untimely, ultimately, that will bring liberation while living. This is Guru's Leela, if you ask me. Simple basic fact. I came with nothing and I wish to leave with nothing. No ownership. This thought, process awareness, has been a turning point for me, even in my profession as a doctor. I give my Guru to my patients with a big open heart. When I hold their hand, I feel that Mohanji is holding their hand. When I put my hand on their head, I feel Mohanji is giving them the feeling of a higher power. I treat, he heals. When Mohanji is taking care of them, what then comes is a spontaneous flow of compassion and kindness. When I surrender my patients to Mohanji, I know he is taking care. I'm not the doer, and hence the results are not mine. With a continuous connection to Mohanji's consciousness, what then comes is an enormous amount of energy. There is no compromise on hard work. It is miraculously beyond what a logical mind can describe or medical science can explain. Through connection to Mohanji's consciousness, patients not only get treated but also get healed. Patients come at the right time, correct decisions are made, and the correct treatments are offered. Still no ownership, just acceptance. In the field of cardiac surgery, where one is playing with life and death, to keep calm and to follow the path of acceptance and surrender is not that easy, but it becomes possible only through Guru's grace. The key message is acceptance, then surrender, and finally it's walking the Guru's path as the rest slowly dissolves. This book, Guru Leela, is not about the authors. Each sharing is a lesson in itself. Every time a chapter is read, a new awareness comes in, and the distance towards liberation is shortened. Mohanji speaks and teaches us through all these experiences. He makes it so simple for us. As he says, all that you have to do is to plug in. The rest is my job. These stories are all about plugging in, and the rest is taken care of by him to the fullest. The reading of this book is evidence of Guru's grace and brings healing to the reader. The book carries the divine energy of Mohanji. as do all previous books in the Guru Leela series. All from him and all to him. Mohanji's quote: "If you love yourself, you will never leave me, because I'm yourself, your own beautiful, eternal, unforgettable creation." That is where this episode ends. We were reading Guru Leela 3, Grace That Heals. Thank you.